I've been with UEDA. I've been a member of UEDA for about 2 decades now, and have really seen, a lot of change in the organization, a lot of change in the people that are members of the organization. And throughout that time, when I was a younger economic developer versus now when I'm a little bit older, I've had just a great opportunity to learn from some of the best in the business. And 20 odd years ago, when I started coming to this organization, we're working on smaller projects. How do we attract projects to our service territories, to our communities? What kind of projects? How is energy relevant? And learn from folks across the United States about those topics and how it made it more relevant to AEP and the area that I serve. Since we've continued to grow as an organization, and there's been a change, with people and our organization as well, our community's grown tremendously, and so have the opportunities that we all are facing. And I see myself in an opportunity or in a role now as more of a senior member of the organization to impart, some of the learnings that I have gained from others and that I've gained in the market as I've grown too. So it's an incredible opportunity for us to learn from one another and to teach one another. I would say maybe some specific things. Over the last few years, we've had a lot of discussion about data centers, but then more importantly and more to the point, discussions about how we as utilities structure our tariffs, and then what we as utilities are doing specifically in our communities to help with this big transition to large load customers. Yeah, so I got involved in UEDA because of a former boss who was a member. My former boss was a member and also an officer of UEDA, and he felt like the group was a good way to get to know others in the industry and to learn from others in the industry, which has continued to be. And so the organization itself was relatively small then. I want to say around 60 people. And so as I came to the forums, and what really is important is not just the forums. The forums are a great place to do networking and to meet people and to learn from one another in a little bit more of a formal setting, formal and informal settings, as we have a lot of opportunity to get together in informal settings too. But what's really been valuable to me over the almost 20 years is the ability to pick up the phone and call somebody in Arizona and Chicago, on the East Coast and Florida and Texas, and say, what's going on in your area? What can I learn from you? And then equally give them the opportunity to ring me up and say, hey, Tim, this is going on. This is a trend in the industry that we're seeing. How does this affect AEP? And that's been, one of the great takeaways from this organization.